Documentation beats conversation every time. Peace. Freedom, family. Freedom. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. We here now. What else can I say? But we here now. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is. Peace, family. This is your brother, Prince Michael. And it's Donald Trump's birthday, the last 3 minutes of his birthday. We gonna ride it out, reading the Declaration, reading the Affidavit, reading the words that are gonna bring our people to the jurisdiction of freedom, the jurisdiction that our ancestors had desired for us to be in. That's our own jurisdiction. Share this. Share this post right now. Share this live video because I'm gonna read this declaration. It's 11:58, June 14th. We're gonna ride out Donald Trump's birthday with the words that's letting the United States corporation know that we know who we are. I'm gonna begin in 1 second. Just let me share this post real quick. Share this post. Say diplomatic. Affidavit signed. The Exodus has begun. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Let me go ahead and drop this in a few spots. I'm gonna read the words, then I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about it in a second. You feel me? All right, so I just shared it. I just shared it. Let's begin. Observing the sovereignty of the African Union Commission. This declaration is my diplomatic response as a Black American and or Aboriginal American voting member of the invited party expressed as the African diaspora in Article 3, Section Q of the Amendments to the African Union's Constitutive Act by the member states of the African Union, proving my genealogical rights to the continent of Africa. And then we give the link for the treaty, for the Constitutive Act, which was signed and agreed and amended 2003 by all the presidents in Africa, specifically Article 3, Section Q, where it invites and encourages the full participation of the African diaspora as an important part of our continent in the building of the African Union. This is the president's words, not mine. This is not my diplomatic immunity. This is not mine. I'm just bringing y'all forward some information that was censored by the mass media. This censorship began when I wasn't even 15 years old when this process began. So this is not mine. This is not mine. It's just obviously no one had picked this work up and decided to bring it to y'all attention. So 17 years later, here we are, initiating the Exodus, from which derived my current observer status to the African Union in Section 1AK in the Declaration of the Global African Diaspora Summit. Now, that is the treaty. That is this treaty right here. Once again, this is not me. Listen to the words. We, the heads of state and government of the African Union, the Caribbean, and South America. Does that sound like me? Does that sound like me? No. But what does sound like me is Section 1AK, where they said they encourage the diaspora to organize themselves. Now, that is me. I am part of the African diaspora. I am the 6th region. Yes. Now, so And so are you. So are all of us. So this is a contract, what they call treaty, between the heads of state and government of the African Union, that's 55 presidents, the Caribbean, that's 13 presidents, and South America, I don't know how many presidents in South America. This is obviously a state to state, a state level, a national level, or really an intergovernmental level treaty. Having additional encouragement from 55 heads of state to organize for eventual full participation with the African Union Commission as the African Union's sixth region in America, pending the completion of required actions from us, the invited party, which is the African diaspora, as I just showed to y'all. Hold on, let me share this on my page because I shared it in groups. I didn't share on my page. Right in the post. Just say tap in, family. That's all I'm gonna say. Tap in, family. Because if y'all know me, that's all you got to do. Just tap in. We continue. I'll just start from that part again. Having additional encouragement from 55 heads of state to organize for eventual full participation with the African Union Commission as the African Union's sixth region in America, pending the completion of required actions from us, the invited party, to which I, a voting member in America, do hereby acknowledge the new Millennial Assembly Protocols as a Section 1AK compliant, full spectrum essential mechanism for expedited national organizing, which is needed. We need to organize our nation. Using a scalable formula for local implementation, which produces by cause and effect the ideal values necessary for being the resilient foundation of business development, community development, and unprecedented capacity for security development, which is true because now we have armies. Armies. Because we are now side by side with all the countries in Africa. They have armies. So we have what? Armies. Not only that, but we're in the sixth region. What is the United States has army, right? So we have. That's deep. Once we start talking from a diplomatic capacity, you see how we're able to speak now? Okay. Community development and unprecedented capacity for security development. Driven by a simple adjustment to the way business conferences are conducted, built on the idea of condensing business discovery time to 5 minutes and using 99% of event time for focusing on compatibility based on asset ownership / control to identify strategic business collaborations and power pooling to provide the unified economic spirit in autonomous headquarters where the top priority is building and protecting black cities in America as lawful rehumanization zones, our true justice. And then we give the link for those protocols as well, which I do actually have, but I don't want to get up. This indefinite, irrevocable public notice of commitment to the African Union's sixth region is my initial action towards completing the contractual request from the heads of state. I hereby offer the following statement in my full honor as a living soul, with full faith that my words are true for entry in the lawful public domain. Uncompromising racism, dehumanization, and infiltration of the judicial system by anarchists and extremists are the causes for this emergency exercise of sovereign power, vested in we, the founding generation of the African Union's sixth region. That's us here in Black America and all over the world. In absence of elective delegated authority for our intergovernmental region, which we are, which is at its infancy stages, which we also are, I vote by affidavit to declare a regional state of emergency in the nationwide territory of America, advising my fellow voting members of the African diaspora in America to do the same. We are voting to declare a state of emergency, and now several states declared the same state of emergency that we're talking about. They did it. They tried to beat us to the punch. Oh, y'all gonna declare a state of emergency? Well, we gonna declare it first. Get out of here. We about that. This is real life. This is the real state of emergency. Anyway, in the nationwide territory of America, advising my fellow voting members of the African diaspora in America to do the same. As a self-determined voting member, I hereby affirm the following as diplomatic framework guiding my priorities, intentions, and decisions from this day forward. I am a natural, living member of the African Union's 6th region, fully acknowledging myself as a first-generation voting member with full respect for all diplomatic progress made towards a unified African family, economy, financial, and political structure, while acknowledging my own capacity to help guarantee the attainment of even higher levels of progress, which we know we are them star players here in America. We are the star players. So, of course, once we get on the court and start playing, yes, we will guarantee the highest levels of progress, period, possible. My immediate personal priority during this regional crisis is safety and security of my mental health, my lineage, and estate. As a first-generation voting member of a newly recognized intergovernmental framework at infancy stages, I further acknowledge that I share equal custodianship to the original sovereign power of we the living people of the 6th region, the same sovereign pre-political power that established other member state parties of the 1975 Vienna Convention. That's where they came up with all the laws for treaties, for the laws for nations, how nation must conduct themselves with other nations when we come to the table with another nation. This is we are sitting and standing on the laws that were crafted by the Vienna Convention, right? Treaty laws when we start working together. I accept and agree that my fundamental responsibility as a 6th region voting member in America is to delegate my sovereign power together in an organized national effort with other 6th region voting members in America with the objective of reaching a majority vote decision to elect four Black or Aboriginal American people to represent the highest economic and political interests of our jurisdiction at full participation levels in the African Union and to all other nations of the universe with my consent. My decision on this day is to be the foundation of the African Union's 6th region in America, the foundation that holds up the rest of the house, solid and dependable, contributing my time, energy, skills, idea, and goodwill to assisting its economic, political, and spiritual development up to its highest capacity with my fellow voting members in America and around the universe with all available means at a head of state level in our rightful capacity as a nation. In our rightful capacity as a nation. In our rightful capacity as a nation. Black America, what are you? You are a nation. African Americans, what are you? You are a nation. Moors, what are you? You are a nation. It doesn't matter what you call yourself now. Because of these contracts that was signed by who? We, the head of states and government of the African Union, the Caribbean, and South America. Almost 100 countries acknowledging you and qualifying you African American, you Black person, you Moor, you any level, you any whoever you want to be. You are a nation. Okay. In our rightful capacity as a nation, by virtue of my equal share of the 6th region's natural sovereign power, held by the first generation of voting members, any alternative civil status identifying me as a United States citizen hereby qualifies for recognition under 22 U.S. Code 254A, pursuant to the laws governing my flesh and blood status as a representative of a foreign sovereign entity, as a representative of a foreign sovereign entity, as a representative of a foreign sovereign entity. Black man, what are you in America? You are a representative of a foreign sovereign entity. African American in America, what are you? You are a representative of a foreign sovereign entity. More, you already know because you've been on it. But now we come back for the flock, for the sheep who is asleep, because this is a crisis and we don't have time to segregate internally. We need something that everybody can stand on, regardless on how much law they studied, regardless on how much time they put in to filing paperwork, regardless of how much paperwork they filed or didn't file. All of our people will be rescued and have the capacity to stand on their nationality, regardless. As a representative of a foreign sovereign entity recognized by nearly 100 nations, recognized by nearly 100 nations, recognized by nearly 100 nations, evidenced by the declaration of this official notice into the public domain as a diplomatic response to a head of state call to action, as a diplomatic response to a head of state call to action by the African Union Commission, advising the continual research, planning, implementation, maintenance, and diplomatic progress of the 6th region. That's us. I hereby further acknowledge the United States owns and protects active intellectual property rights associated with slave creation and dehumanization as lawful fact of their acquiescence to CV 119-4443, filed October 2nd, 2019, pre-COVID-19, in the Northern District of Georgia on behalf of the black race, withstanding, capacity, status, grandfathered from Shabahadi of prehistory, written on the walls in stone, written on the walls in stone, written on the walls in stone, thousands of years old. Standing, status, and capacity, grandfathered from Shabahadi of prehistory. I am owed damages from CV 119-4443 and rehumanization based on my qualifications as a member of the black race as defined by Kabiru traditions of Mount Zion, as a member of the black race as defined by Kabiru traditions of Mount Zion, who filed on my behalf, or my ancestral descent of the Shabahadi, or my observer status as a first-generation custodian of the African Union's 6th region sovereign voting power, correspondent with the African Financial Regulatory Authority. I implore the United States and its courts to follow the guiding principles of the remedies outlined in CV 119-4443, which favor constructive diplomacy between us as well-established neighbors, which favor constructive diplomacy between us as well-established neighbors who truly just want to live peacefully and be ourselves, who truly just want to live peacefully and be ourselves. But in absence of such diplomacy, I hereby submit my official recommendation to the African Union Commission to order the exit of all United States ambassadors, official representatives, military personnel, contractors, and citizens until we, the 6th region, de-escalate our state of emergency back to normal conditions. All of y'all get out of Africa. United States, get out of Africa if you don't want to deal with us diplomatically the way that you are supposed to. I no longer consent to be governed by any institution founded by historical racist, dehumanizers, or American slave owners because it's my lawful, legal, moral, and scientific right to live in communities free of racists and dehumanizers. In absence of these communities, I and all voting members of the African Union's 6th region retain the natural right to build rehumanization communities, wheresoever we deem to be safe and adequate for our development guidelines to accommodate a minimum of 3 million people in a minimum of 40 locations around the country, requiring approximately 50 million acres or 600,000 acres per territory. That's twice the size of Fulton County. We retain the lawful right to refuse entry or residency to licensed dehumanizers or anyone with a history of licensing dehumanization if we so choose, to avoid compromising the scientific, moral, lawful, legal, and sovereign integrity of our advocacy for true justice concerning the stain of American slavery, which is rehumanization, and all adverse effects of the United States' proven ownership of trade secret intellectual properties for dehumanization as a patentable slave creation method, in order to heal our minds in America so we can heal the world society at large once and for all. This is my sovereign truth under the penalty of perjury on this 14th day of June, 2020. Signed and notarized. Signed and notarized, people. Signed and notarized. By signing and notarizing this declaration, this affidavit, this declaration of state of emergency, this affidavit of commitment to the African Union's 6th region, you're acknowledging that you know the African Union reclaimed jurisdiction over you. You know the secret that mass media censored for years. You know the existence of this treaty. You know that it exists. By signing this, you're simply saying, you know about this now. You didn't know then. You didn't know yesterday. We didn't know yesterday. 2012. We didn't know back in 2012, May 25th. That's the day George Floyd was murdered, y'all. May 25th on Africa Liberation Day. Follow the signs. Understand the signs and what it means. Very clear. This is your bridge to freedom. Uniting with Africa globally. Our country is larger than the United States. We have a larger population than the United States does. We are a major world player, a major, one of the biggest, and we've always been the biggest. Not one, we are the biggest. Let's stop this. We are the biggest. Okay? We are the first. We are the original. But more than that, we are returned. We're back. We're here now. We wasn't here yesterday. We ain't have time then. We got time now. So family, download this affidavit from the Diplomat Day group. DiplomatDay.com will be up very shortly. Give me a couple days. DiplomatDay.com will be up. You'll be able to download this directly from the site. July 4th is Diplomat Day commencement. That's when we ride around with our African Union flags. Mob all through the city, hundreds of cars deep, waving the flags. Why? Because of the legality, the lawful statement that we make by mobbing out with our flags waving out of our cars. It's strategy, my people. Strategy. That fucks up the system way more than burning buildings. Way more than marching. Way more than demanding justice. This is a political and crowd law strategy against racism and dehumanization and government infiltration. By filing this, so when you sign and notarize this, you send it into the African Union, Copy Prince Michael at afra.gov.africa, which is my email address, so we can include this on CV 119-4443, which entitles you and your descendancy to approximately $32 million from slavery. Now we are a nation. Now we know. We didn't know. We've been a nation for some time now, for some years now, but we didn't know. But we know now. Now we're ready to talk about what you owe our nation. Not individuals, what you owe our nation. We've already filed this paperwork. It's there. They've already acquiesced to it. It's there. We're gonna move them into default as soon as we get y'all in here. Get some of y'all in here. You feel me? We really want the majority. If we were smart, if these words don't go over your head, if these words that I spoke to you at this point did not go over to your head at this point, then you need to download this immediately. Tell the African Union that you know now. You know you are with them. You know we are one. You didn't know we were together then, but now you know that you got 55 presidents standing with you. You didn't know the presidents were standing side by side with you. They sent you messages, but you didn't get them because the mass media censored those messages. You would think that presidents would be able to get the message, but they were not able to get the message. They sent ambassadors. The ambassadors did not get the message out. They had to fire those ambassadors. You see what I'm saying? They made attempts to tell you about this contract that they gave you, that they recognized you. They recognized you as your own independent, intergovernmental body of people in America and all around the world, South America, Asia, Europe. They reclaimed you. They reclaimed jurisdiction. My people at the United Nations, she called me last night. She said, it's already done. The work is already done. Where are you guys at? Someone needs to wake. Someone needs to wake y'all up. The 6th region is there. You haven't done anything with the 6th region. They're still waiting on us. Still waiting on us. So this is a ritual acknowledgement, more for internal purposes. Yes, it is lawful. Yes, it is legal, but really it's more of an internal thing, a personal thing, that when you read these words and you understand what they're saying, and you go and you read the treaties and you see, okay, yeah, the presidents did reach out. They did give me an invitation. Personalize it. Say me. When you read this, say me. The presidents reached out to me. To all of us, but make it personal. They reached out to me. So since they reached out to me and they asked me to do something, all I got to do is do what they asked me to do, and I qualify for diplomatic immunity. That qualifies me for diplomatic actions. I'm doing something by the request of a president, not just one, but 55. And really not just 55, almost 100. I'm doing something by organizing, by coming together with my brothers and sisters, by us having a vote, having an election as to who's going to represent us, who's going to go and sit at the table with all these presidents in Africa. By us even just talking about that. We are doing diplomatic actions. We're doing what our presidential partners asked us to do. This is an affidavit of commitment to the 6th region, a commitment to this contract. You see what I'm saying? This affidavit sits on top of this contract. This contract sits on top of this constitution. This constitution sits on top of this flag. You see? You see how it goes? The state of Georgia now. Oh. Last year, April 2nd, the state of Georgia. House Resolution 818 by Representatives Bennett of the 94th, Hughley of the 136th, Alexander of the 66th, Frazier of the 126th, Schofield of the 60th, and others. A resolution commending Dr. Queen Blessing Itua for her work with the Global Empowerment Movement, and recommending that the Georgia State Legislative Black Caucus and the Georgia Department of Economic Development recognize Dr. Queen Blessing Itua and the African Union 6th Region USA Foundation, and for other purposes. But when we decide, I mean, define what the Sixth Region Foundation here is in this Georgia State resolution, it says the mission of the African Union Sixth Region USA Foundation is helping the African diaspora, as well as individual organizations, maintain order, unity, and be effective in the society, and to encourage continuous development of international partnerships which support the emergence of Africa's private sector, promote direct foreign investment in Africa, and leverage the imbalances in Africa's growing economy. Whereas it is the economic interest of this state to promote and strengthen mutually beneficial ties with the African diaspora and nations of Africa and the Georgia State Legislative Black Caucus. Hold on. Whereas it is, this is the state of Georgia talking now. Whereas it is in the economic interest of this state to promote and strengthen mutually beneficial ties with the African diaspora and nations of Africa. It recognized us separately from other nations in Africa. And it called us the same thing that's written on this contract. It's recognizing us as a nation as this contract is. So this groundwork is laid. The state of Georgia has also began the groundwork of recognizing us. It seems everyone is recognizing us except for us. So now, this public affidavit, diplomatic affidavit, this declaration of state of emergency, this vote to declare state of emergency, this is our process where we begin to recognize ourselves. And that's what what it's really about. Because the legislative, the legal, the diplomatic work is already done. The United States already doesn't have jurisdiction over us. They're just wondering how long it's going to take until we figure it out. It don't matter if you call yourself black. It don't matter if you call yourself African American. It don't matter if you call yourself Moor. It don't matter if you call yourself Shakamexum, Washita, Blackfoot, whatever it is. If you're one of us, we have an intergovernmental framework, an intergovernmental region now that we govern. We govern an intergovernmental region. So you don't have to change your identity. You don't have to identify as this or identify as that. Be who you are. You can be who you are because now our government is an assembly of nations, an assembly of different identities, an assembly of diversity. That is what they gave us in this contract. The capacity of intergovernmental bodies. So we'll be a fool to not use this. We'll be a fool to let this sit down for another 10 years and do shit with it. You will be stupid as fuck. Understand what I'm saying? You would be stupid as fuck to ignore this shit. Because it's so simple now. Just sign the affidavit and tell them that you know about it. All this is saying is that you know about this paperwork now. Hey, African Union, hey, we see you over there. We know you've been calling out to us for a couple of decades. Forgive me, I was dealing with a bunch of racism and domestic terrorism. Yeah, we know now. We had the chance to sit down because of the coronavirus. So I hear you now, and I'm just letting you know that I hear you, and I'm ready to go ahead and build this nation that you gave to us. And any support, that you can extend, is welcomed. And any support we can extend to you, since you're our partners too, just let us know, and we'll figure something out. That's basically all you're saying with this. We're ready to start working with y'all now. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to start working, African Union. Presidents over there, my presidential partner. And eventually we're going to find and hold an election and find a four of us, like you asked. We're gonna find four Black Americans to represent us and actually go and do all the meetings with y'all over there. Um, but for now, we have not picked those four people, so that means we maintain and retain the power of those four people, which is head of state power as individuals. So that means you have 40 million head of states walking around right now. All black people that you see in this country have the power of a president. That is the power until we vote and give that power to four different people, like they asked us to in the contract. They asked us to organize ourselves, but until we organize ourselves and organize that power into four people, 40 million plus people retain that power individually. That's why I have the power to vote and say it's a state of emergency out here due to racism. It's a state of emergency out here due to dehumanization. That's why I have that power. That's why you have that power. That's why we all together pull that power together, send it to the African Union, say, look, we are voting to register. We are registering our vote to say that it's a state of emergency out here. And because it's a state of emergency, we got to take some extreme actions. We are invoking diplomatic immunity, and we want you as the African Union to stand with us on this and make sure your partners, our partners, the White House, the United States, make sure they do not undermine our sovereignty. We're going to be building our communities. We're going to be taking about 50 million acres over here in America to build our communities and protect these communities. We're going to be setting up a command eventually with an all black command from the United States military. Yeah. Because guess what? Those are our people. Those are our people. Eventually, we're going to be talking about the ownership of Atlanta, since that's our territory. It's black owned, and we have the deed, the title, the allodial title to Fulton County. It's black owned. Yeah, it is. Eventually, we're going to be talking about all this with our partners, the White House, to say, what are we going to do about all these taxes and unpaid taxes of you guys occupying our territory since 2003? Oh, we're going to have these conversations because of this. 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 Us. We are the value people. We are the free agents that everybody wants. Us. All right? So, happy birthday, Donald Trump. That's it. Let's see if we got any questions here. Sorry, I've been talking. Someone said we almost home. Yes, we are almost home. Yes, we are. Lisa Green. Okay. Show me the way. If y'all got any questions, anything, go ahead and just put it in the comments now while I'm watching it, because y'all know when I start talking, I might get carried away or whatever, and I might not even look back at my phone. So if you got any questions, just please go ahead, drop it in the comments right now, because I'm about to sign out. Someone said, where can I obtain these documents? Go to the Facebook group called Diplomat Day. Just type in Diplomat Day, and you should find a group, or you should find a page. You know, the subtitle is Diplomatic Immunity for All Black Americans. You should find it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Since you have declared SOE, state of emergency, when should we expect backup from the AU? Great question. When more of, because remember, I'm one of 40 million. Now, I'm not undermining my own power just because I'm only one out of 40 million. But when y'all make this a movement, this is just the begin. But when y'all make it a movement, this is the initiation. This is the spark. I'm one of the first. Somebody may have beat me to it. Somebody may have signed theirs first, but I'm probably one of the first. So this is just the beginning. But when y'all decide to make this a movement, when y'all put 10 million views under this video, or when y'all get 1 million people in the group Well, when y'all got a million likes on the page, when the African Union sees us moving and that we are really there, that's when you're gonna see the African. I guarantee you're gonna get a response. It's gonna blow y'all mind. I'm telling you right now. When y'all making a movement, when enough of us demonstrate that we know who we are by filing the paperwork. And granted, let me say this. Let me give this disclaimer. This paperwork is not even necessary. It's already done. You're already sovereign. You're already a state. You're already a nation. You don't have to, you're not signing up. You're not signing up for the nation by doing it. I'm not recruiting a damn person. I'm just taking an initiative because I know the problem. I understand the problem because I got involved. I learned about the 6th region when I was 26, 27. I'm 34 and I learned about this about 7 years ago. I saw the elders who were trying to bring this awareness to y'all. I saw them. You see what I'm saying? They had a y'all didn't, it didn't go viral. It didn't get on TV. The celebrities didn't tell y'all. And this has made it to several celebrities' deaths. I know this personally. The celebrities didn't tell y'all about this. Celebrities didn't tell y'all about this. The Black Caucus leaders didn't tell y'all about this. They're not pushing this. They're not pushing the dream. This is the dream that our civil rights ancestors had. They wanted to be one, have one political voice, one economic vehicle, they wanted. We got it. But nobody told y'all about this. I know the problem. The problem is that people do not know. So I said, okay, so the solution is to not just inform in an intangible way, because I could just give you the information, do a quick little video, and you could get it. But until you for yourself go through the ritual of signing this, reading, understanding these words, you can even research if you want. You know what I'm saying? You can even click on the link and read the whole treaty for yourself. Until you go through the ritual of reading and understanding these words and signing it and say, yes, now I understand. I am a part of the African Union now. I was given a brand new country to develop. I was given not just a brand new, I was given, I think, like the 5th largest country in the world. We are a major world power. And when you, by signing this, you say, oh, all you're declaring to the African Union is that, oh, I get it now. We them niggas. We them Negus. We them niggas. Now I understand why they didn't tell us about this. They want us to know that we have always spiritually beat them. We have always spiritually been them niggas. Y'all know. But politically, economically, lawfully, by fact now, it's like treatily. We them niggas now. And you're saying, oh, I get it now. This is just registering that you understand, or you overstand, or you comprehend. So you're not signing up for nothing. We ain't out here recruiting nobody. You're the nation. The nation is there. It's just the nation is discombobulated. It's blind. It needs someone to clear them eyes up. Look around. Look at the resources that you have in front of you. Don't look at the bird in the bush. Look at your hands. The birds are there. They came to you. You didn't have to go to the bush. The bird came to you. It's in your hand. You just didn't know. You thought you had to go hunt. Oh, we got to figure out what to call ourselves. We need to vote on the nationality. We need to vote on the identity. You don't have to change your identity. Stay exact. Matter of fact, musical chairs. Boom, the music stopped. Everybody stay exactly where you at. You either get you wherever you at, that's where you at. Whoever you are, that's who you are. Whatever you identify as, that's who you are. Just come to the table as you are. Come as you are, like the church be saying. But this for real. Come as you are. Because this nation, this governmental capacity has a room for you, has a place for you. You don't have to alter your identity. You don't have to alter anything about yourself. You only have to contribute your energy, your goodwill, your love, your unity, your genius. You are the leaders of the new world. We them niggas. Negus. Family. Happy birthday, Donald Trump. I think this is going on an hour. I pray that I spoke with clarity. I pray that you guys understand this. Do not let this go over your head. I kept it so simple. This is nationalizing at the most simplistic level, the most simplistic. You don't have to go to law school no more. At one point in time, you did. At one point in time, you did, and the African leaders knew that was the problem. So said they gave you something that you don't have, that does not require you to go to law school to understand how to get out of your situation. Power block. We out, family. Be good. You know what I'm saying? Be great. Be better than